Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another requested video all about social media. So somebody asked me to do a video about being a social media manager, but I do want to say I am not a social media manager and I've never been one, not professionally. You know, I manage my YouTube channel, but not for other people. But I have worked with social media for jobs, so I thought I would talk about my experience there and, you know, things that I learned that I didn't necessarily know before that. So one thing that's really good to know is that if you're interested in, you know, working with social media professionally, it's pretty easy to research on. I remember my first internship that I did, where part of what I did was researching for social media, researching optimal times to post, what different sites work with each, you know, time, and you know, how hashtags perform on different social medias. And it was fairly easy to find that research. You don't have to be in a job doing it to find that. So I would definitely recommend like starting to look into those things and understanding how they work and why they work, because you can do it on your own and it'll make it so you're that much more prepared when you go to get a job. So I would also, you know, some things, you know, just quick that I learned. Something really important with social media is consistent posting. If you will take a look at my Instagram, the handle's linked down below. It's at Renee today. I am not very good at posting consistently. I've never been good with it with my own personal accounts. I mean, you know, obviously I've worked professionally with social media and that's different, but it's something I've always struggled with. I'm trying really hard to get better with. I'm very proud of myself for staying consistent with YouTube. But yeah, like, you gotta make sure you're posting consistently and you can find the optimal times to be posting. So different accounts, you know, there's research into when people are active on different social medias and things like that in general, but it's even more helpful to understand how your page specifically performs. I know on YouTube, they'll show you, you know, when your audience tends to be online. I'm not sure how different social medias do that, but you can even use different, I don't think application is the right word, but sites and things like that you can probably use to find when your best posting times are. I know that there are, you know, social media posting sites where like you can schedule posts and things like that, though I don't know if they're free ones. I'm not really sure. I've used them in a professional setting where like we're doing it for clients, so it's worth it to pay for something like that as a business, but personally I don't know if there are free, you know, sites for that, but those can also tell you when optimal posting times are, and it's nice to pay attention to those and see, you know, what's gonna perform the best at what time, because that can really help boost a post. Hashtag use is important, but depending on the social media, on Facebook, hashtags aren't really used so much, but on Instagram or Twitter, they are used a lot more, and it's important to use them correctly. So, you know, making sure clickbait is nice. It gets people to come in and things like that. But you can't do clickbait that doesn't get fulfilled. You can't talk about, she fell down the stairs, if that never comes up in the video. You know, that does not, if I title this video, she fell down the stairs with a picture of me like at the bottom of the stairs on the floor, and then you clicked on this video, that doesn't help anything. You get very quick views and they're not gonna stay longer than, you know, a few seconds, or to long enough to like, you know, look through the video and see that you didn't do anything, and then you're not actually building anything. So if you're gonna use clickbait, it has to be meaningful and it has to actually relate to what you're talking about and what your post or video is about. Another thing that's really important with social media is knowing what the goals of the account are. For an influencer, it's about building a community, but what community and what exact goals do you have? Both, you know, do you have a follower goal that you'd like to build a community to a certain size? Or do you just have an energy, you know what I mean? Like, I want this to be a place where people can feel comfortable to share themselves or whatever, you know, whatever your goals are, understand those and be actively working towards them. Have every post keep those goals in mind. And going off of that, you need to know your audience. Is your audience a customer? Is your audience is it your audience another influencer? Is your audience, you know, different age groups, different, you know, my audience tends to be students too, because I'm talking about my experiences as a college student. So understanding what your audience is, who you want to be attracting to your social media, and again, making your posts keep that in mind and be actively working for that audience. And on top of all of that, you know, just kind of what I've learned from working on social media, there's so many things that end up being really important when you're working on social media, especially when it's not your own, it's a client, and you're basically being the voice behind a company, is you have to be very careful with your words and very careful with using a tone that matches whatever company that you're talking for. If it's, you know, does that company try to make sure that they have really positive energy and vibes? Then you need to make sure that your posts and your captions reflect that and use words that boost that and energize that. And you're speaking for the company when you're, you know, doing their social media. So you need to make sure you're aligned, what you're posting aligns with their values as a company. And it's really easy to have one or two little words really affect that. And so you have to pay attention to those kinds of things. Planning ahead is also really important, which is probably why I'm not so good at doing social media, because I never plan ahead for myself. But when I was working earlier this summer as an intern and I was working with social media, you know, we would have meetings and plan out the entire month's worth of social media posts for each different client. And we take into account different holidays. There's like fun little holidays like National Hamster Day or National Ice Cream Day, things like that, and how you incorporate it and make it fun, and make it fun not just like to see, but to interact with and to create engagement. And so, you know, we plan an entire month in advance, and then you go through the different processes. And that's what it is. It's a process of just constantly thinking of new ideas, thinking about how they're going to be presented, what the visual is going to be, what the caption is going to be, all those kinds of things, when it needs to be posted, all of that. And there's a lot that goes into it, but it is really fun to see then people, you know, interact with those things and see them grow and all that kind of stuff. I think that's all I can think of right now. If there's anything else that you guys want to see on this topic, please let me know. I said it last week, I love getting suggestions. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. Bye!